When I say I've gone to Galveston, people always tell me about the beauty of the beaches in the Dominican Republic or wherever else they go. How gorgeous Hawaii is. Or even parts of the coast of Florida. Or the war-torn sections of Mexico. Which is great. But sitting where I'm sitting, I can drive to Galveston and be there in an hour. I can decide on Friday afternoon that we have nothing much to do this weekend, and we can shoot down to Galveston. So, yeah, I kind of like that. It's very convenient. I can do it quickly and on a budget. So this weekend, and I'll make this quick so we can get back to the important stuff, but let me give you some summer ideas, at least for those of you in Texas. We went down to Galveston Friday night, stayed at the San Luis, which for my money, I've wasted too much of what I've made in my life on hotels and travel and crack. No, I'm just kidding about the last one. But I've stayed in some good hotels, usually using points. I don't have the money to stay at the really nice European hotels because you can break the bank on those. But I've seen hospitality. I got to tell you, the San Luis in Galveston, that's as good a hospitality as you will get anywhere. It's not just workers making sure your drinks are refilled, what you need is taken care of, your little pillows fluffed up, or whatever it is you like. It is managers coming with the capability of, what do you need? We will get it done. And not just for me, for everybody. I've watched it. So we went down and tried the Pleasure Pier. Now, I got to tell you, I am a sucker for what's old being new again. I am a sucker for old stuff. I think I was born about 60 years too late. And you got to, I know Tillman has his detractors because anytime somebody's successful, other people hate them for their success, but they create other reasons for why they supposedly hate them. And I got to tell you, this Pleasure Pier that they've built, it's the old pier where the flagship used to be. Well, when you do the research, you find out that before it was a flagship, it was actually a pleasure pier once before. It's 120 feet wide and about 1,100 feet long, and they have jammed it with, for my 6-year-old son, for the money, it was as much fun as SeaWorld. I mean, really, there was less room in between stuff, so you didn't have to run forever. They artificially restrict the number of people on the pier at any given time. So the wait in line for the roller coasters, I hate roller coasters. I can't stand them. I'm 41 years old. I ain't 18 anymore. I do not enjoy thrills that simulate dying or thrills that simulate, extreme fear. I got enough to worry about that I don't need to add that to it. But they gave me a behind-the-scenes tour, Mark Kane, the general manager. I like to see the guts of things. I like to go into, if I really like a restaurant, I always ask the owner, let me walk through the kitchen, let me see how the food. So he's giving me the tour, and he says, this is called the Iron Shark, and, this is how it works. It goes straight up, and you can see it. It goes straight up at 100 feet, and then it turns and straightens out for just a split second so you have a look out over the Gulf, and then it drops. And when it drops, it doesn't drop straight down. It actually drops on an angle going back into the frame that it just came out of, and then it sends you through 4 twists. Now, I'm sure some of you that have been on it are going to tell me, oh, you're just being a wuss. I could do it 20 times. Good for you. I'm not a roller coaster fan at this point in my life. Well, he said, you're doing it. I had my son and my nephew. My son's 6 and my nephew's 10. And they're too little and stupid to know what they don't know. They just, they're just looking for a thrill. Little boys at that age, they're just looking for a thrill. So Mark says to me, and Mark's got to be 50-something. He says, so here it is. He takes me all over. He goes, we're riding. I said, no, I'm not riding. You take my son. No, you're riding. So I get in this dang thing. And I got to tell you, Brian, after the ride, I said, I don't like roller coasters. And that thing does anything any other roller coaster does. Why didn't it bother me more? And he said, well, I didn't want to tell you ahead of time because I wanted you to see the difference. The old roller coasters were steel on steel. The friction created a rattle or wood. wood or steel on steel. This is a nylon, so it glides across. And granted, the roller coaster's brand new, so maybe in 25 years it'll be like all the other 25-year-old roller coasters. But for now, this thing is smooth. I mean, it's just gliding through there. It was a beautiful thing. So this was 5 o'clock in the evening. Then he gives us the tour, and then we take the kids, and my niece came, and so we're just walking up around the Pleasure Pier, which is an old boardwalk. They have all the old boardwalks, so you feel like you're in another time. They've limited the thug presence by actually restricting the park to people who pay for it. And so it was actually a fun, they've gone out of their way to make it a family experience, which all too often things that are supposed to be for the family. I mean, you go to the zoo on the wrong day, which should be family fun. You go on everybody gets in free if you got a Lone Star card. Man, it's like gang initiation day. Whoo, not pleasant. Grown men walking around with a flat-billed hat turned sideways, stuff written on their body that you're having to hide your kids' eyes. Oh, yeah, you got the sticker on the hat like Minnie Pearl. You got the brand-new jersey, the brand-new baggy pants, the brand-new brightly colored, perfectly coordinated shoes. Yeah. Oh, man. I never realized so many Hispanics played basketball in my life. And then you got 8 kids bundled into strollers yelling at my kids are yelling, food hanging out everywhere. Oh, man, that is not my idea of a good time. It ain't that at all. They have it's very family friendly. It's a nice experience. So progress a few hours. It's 10 o'clock. I've had, let's just say, a little bit to drink because I'm not having to drive. And I've had a little bit to eat. And then I added to that little bit to eat some desserts and stuff like that. Let's just say there's a lot going on in my belly. The kids go, let's ride one more time. Well, what they've done is they've illuminated everything except the Iron Shark. So there are no lights. So you do the ride in the dark. I talked my brother into going on with me. It was a whole different ride. I was miserable when I got off there. But it's a cool ride. If you want to take the kids, you want to have a good time. Pleasure Pier is pretty cool. There's nowhere else to stay other than San Luis, in my opinion. Best place in Galveston. But I did something also that was unique and fun and wonderful. We went over to the Lone Star Flight Museum, lsfm.org, if you want to check it out for yourself. It's a nonprofit dedicated to remembering the World War II fighters. We went up, if you know the story of Doolittle's Raiders, we went up in one of those planes that attacked Japan, but they were found out early and they had to crash land them all. And you get up in that old plane and you are riding it. There's no air conditioning in there. I'll tell you what, you get this rush of feeling like, wow, this is what those young men went through. It is an amazing experience. Go look at all those planes and things, lsfm.org. All right. Michael Berry Show. Fun stuff coming up.
What a man. What a man.
The Michael Berry Show.
Someone you can trust.